Now I can see moving cars, that's perfect. So as the season is nearly ended, who is your biggest surprise, drivers-wise?
I am gonna say, I'm not sure, to be fair. I think Soreo, I think it'd just be an easy one to say, wouldn't it? And, you know, he's always been up there when he's competed in this series. He's always had wins in every season he's competed in, I believe. He was very quick last season, and this season before then as well, when he was driving the Subaru. But he's really coming to his own. He's beaten out, well, Dominik Kubinski. He's been another who's improved quite well. Jake Witshaw, he's been very quick, but Dominik Kubinski as well, like you were about to say, he's improved quite considerably.
I think Kubinski always had the pace. We saw it several times in the Alpha 155. Maybe the BMW wasn't his car. I mean, I would say it wasn't yours as well.
No, it was bloody awful.
But yeah, there are a lot of guys who were really impressive. I think Lucas Wake is definitely one guy to call with the race win at Red Bull Ring. Also Tom Lipscomb, we usually saw him in the Genesis last season.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, there's he improved a lot. We saw him in the Genesis a few times, a bit in the back. Now he also scored solid points. Could be a track that fits the Swift quite good. And we also have long straights and top speed sections, and our guess was even wrong last week when we said that Brands Hatch could be a car for the front wheel drives and the TTs, and Lexus and BMW dominated.
Exactly. So, I mean, this track's almost an opposite to Brands Hatch, isn't it? It's long. It's got plenty of straights.
And it has more low-speed corners.
Exactly.
Well, Brands Hatch is more about having a good flow. I think Fuji is more like it is really interrupting your race pace on the really slow corners and chicanes.
So what's the way of joining now?
Lipscomb who left the room.
Van der Speck seems quite eager to start the race, doesn't he? I think he reckons he's got pole in the bag. Wouldn't surprise me, to be fair, either. I think we'll wait for Ruben to join and then we'll quickly get everything underway.
if you guys aren't here.
And Pine has now dropped out. Great. I don't think it's not right to have qualifying with 5 cars.
No.
It's a quarter of the grid, so.
And we know that Pine definitely will come back. Tom will come back. We know that I think Dominik Kipinski could be late. Only 5 minutes. I saw that Michael is online at least. But we still missing both FR Bono cars. We're now with a pretty strong lineup with Betty and Hamza. And we shouldn't forget that the FR guys are still in the race for the team championship. And this is also the only decision we're gonna have tonight.
Just seen Tyler Davison's car out on track, and my eyes hurt.
Oh yeah, it looks a bit like he drove it through a candy shop. Oh yeah, and it's an anime girl. I take everything back what I thought. What I told about the small picture. Every anime livery is horrible. Yeah,
Definitely,
I know.
completely agree.
I know. Half of the grid will hate me now. So Tom Holland is back.
Ruben Soraya out on track as well.
So Lucas Wake is on his way. A wild guess. Maybe Tom Holland switched his car. It's not checked in yet, but
I can't see him in the lobby. Tom Holland.
oh, maybe. I thought he joined back.
Oh, we're making progress. I was joining now.
Oh, it's one of the FR guys. It's Jake Betty. Another one is it's Tom Holland.
I think we'll get these two to enter and then we'll go, because it's taking too long now.
Yes. Pine is dead again.
Anytime today, come on. Oh. I'm not waiting anymore. It's not that hard to just enter. It's a button.
Then it is a 6-man qualifying. We're kind of used to.
It's going to be the worst thing to watch in the world.
I will
3
quickly
Lexuses and
open the sheet and note the drivers who joined. So it is Jake automatically P7. Lucas automatically P8.
oh, and for once it's not going to be Tom Holland who's first out on track, is it?
Because he's not in the lobby.
And as soon as we start qualifying, everyone joins.
Yeah.
Oh, we're on for a brilliant one tonight, lads.
So then it's Tom Lipscomb, followed by Tom Holland. Ashby picked up a 0.5 second penalty. I honestly don't know where the burn zone is here.
Don't know whether Jakey's coding the car into the game or what, but
It is kind of weird.
he's not exactly slow. So starting 7th or something is not going to make much of a difference, I don't think. But I have a sneaky suspicion that the first row is going to be Tyler Davison and Jordan van der Speck. Whether it's in that order, not sure. I think it's going to be nice to see Van der Speck at the front, regardless of however much of a challenge. He's not really been there so much of the season, so we saw a glimpse of
Still
it.
not
Of
at
the old,
100%.
still last time out at Brands, we saw a glimpse of the old Jordan van der Speck in some podiums, but
I think he had some highlights with Interlagos and last week Brands Hatch as well. So, where's Michael?
that's going to be one of the main overtaking opportunities there. That turn after the long right-hander goes into a very sharp left-hander. Easy to just sling the car up the inside.
Jake Betty left the room. So considering his consistent complaining, I don't think he will join back. Tyler Davison looking much quicker than Jordan van der Speck at the moment.
Van der Speck doesn't have to let him past. It is still qualifying, so Van der Speck's on his own lap. Van der Speck letting him past. I think he's going to go into the pits. Never mind.
So 145 won the first flying lap. Van Hart with a 45.9 on P2. Ashby 46.3.
Van der Speck then.
Serreo on P2.
Dropping down.
Gonna see if Tyler Davison can improve a lot, because in the final sector he seems to be a bit stuck.
As you see Tyler Davison now going to complete his second lap. Can he improve?
Slight
half a tenth.
Followed by
Ashby into P2 now with a 45.4.
really close to him. Can Soraya improve? No improvement from Ruben.
Small improvement from Super, the Hungarian.
P4. Team Spirit Reserve. Pretty hopeless challenge to defend this 1 point gap for Team Spirit in just one car.
Hopefully we will see Dominik in a few moments' time, but at least some sort of fight to the Hilux cars.
I think maybe Lucas Wake is not really familiar to the rules. As he keeps provoking with typing in the chat. Tyler Davison sitting on a penalty, but a good chance now to see where the burn zone is. Oh, it's on the start-finish line. So probably gonna ruin 2 laps if he's going into the pits.
Very tricky pit entry as well, this one.
Soraya stays out for another lap.
It's not going to be an improvement, I don't think.
Jodo Vendersbeck now in the 45s.
Still 8 tenths behind Davison.
A slight improvement from Super again. I wanted to say from first to the last position only 8 tenths, but it's only 6 the qualifying at the moment. But the gaps are overall pretty short. I think
Yeah, nothing too spectacular. The biggest gap between first and second, and it's not even 3 tenths.
I think Tyler Davison has still a bit pace left. I think his fastest lap was only a bit quicker than the one he was, from what I saw, a bit stuck behind Vandersbeck.
I think the 44s are definitely possible, even in race trim. As long as you've got a clear track ahead of you, you're not going to have a major difference between qualifying and a race.
His outlap. Also brilliant season from him. His debut season in WTCC.
Ruben Soraya takes provisional pole with a 45.021, making the whole grid a Hilux sandwich.
Tyler Davison after his outlap now on his next flying lap, but again a car ahead of him, Stein van Hart.
Whether Van Hart will let him past, I wouldn't think so, as he seems to be half a tenth up on himself.
Van Hart leaving the racing line, picked up a penalty. Yeah, different to tracks like Brands Hatch. We have a pretty long track with 145, possible 144. So you don't have this big amount of laps.
Tyler Davison seems to be sitting on a really good time there. Not by much, but he is still purple.
Yeah, and I think the most time he lost in the final sector. Wouldn't be surprised if we would see a 44.7 here.
There he is, Soraya going into the pits then.
Davison went a bit wide, but no track limit violation. And the clock stops at a 40. No improvement for him, 45.2. And now Ashby is on P2.
Ashby with a very solid time there, brand new tyres, sending a 45.0. Which puts him on the front row of the grid alongside Soraya. Again, Davison up on a personal best for the first sector. There's only really one corner that first sector, but
yeah, I think the whole grid might be pretty close in Sector 1, Sector 2. Big purple time here for Davison. It wasn't the back exit through the chicane.
it's probably one of the toughest corners on the circuit.
I think the final sector of Fuji is one of the toughest in the game. I'm pretty used to racing games, and I still don't know how to be quick here.
As he still runs wide out that final corner. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. He's now flat out to the line over this 1 kilometre long straight. And it's just enough for provisional pole.
So only 700 between P1 and P3.
Van der Speck now jumping up to 4th.
Again, it seems we only have one front-wheel drive car in the qualifying, so obviously that the rear-wheel drive cars are a bit in the lead.
Ashby doesn't seem to be making any improvements, but I think he's going to have just enough for one more lap after this.
Tyres still looking good, fuel should be fine as well.
I think it's going to be close for Ruben Soraya, and he's still half a tenth down on himself, so could Jordan van der Speck put in a late time and pull the pole position off Tyler Davison.
Final sprint to the line. Two tenths down.
So nothing from Van der Speck then. And Soraya, that's his qualifying session over.
Stays for now on P2. Ashby 6 tenths down to his PB.
Van der Speck though, half a tenth purple.
Ah, but that's too wide.
He plummets down the hill towards the chicane. 3 tenths down on himself is not going to be any improvement, and he knows it. So there we have it, the grid. Davidson's still on a lap, but he's not going to have to try as he's got that pole position.
So now we have again to set the grid by host. Lucky for me, it's just 6 people to keep in mind. Maybe extend the after race timer a bit.
And Pine dropping out again. Already too far behind his schedule, so if he can't get back in, then
Pine is in the lobby.
waiting on everyone to join them.
I think Pine crashed again. I think this is more Pine issue than the GT7 issue.
Yep, completely. There's nothing we can do, so...
There's still a second race.
Exactly, that's the beauty of this series, is always that second chance. So then it's Van der Speck in 4th, and Super in 5th, Stein in 6th. Do you know the rest of the grid?
Yes, it should be Jake Betty, but he's not in here. Then it's Lucas Wake.
Yep.
Tom Lipscomb.
Yep.
Tom Holland, but he's not in the lobby. Michael Woolacott. And I think that's it so far. Someone is joining. It's Tom Holland.
Yep, there we go.
Set him to 10th.
10th behind Michael, yeah?
Yes.
Awesome. Right, let's get this one on the road. After 12 minutes of pain and watching people join and exit and complain about literally everything, as per usual.
Let's hope the race is getting better. Don't expect many changes after the start, because all the front rear-wheel driven cars are in the front. Brilliant start from Tyler Davison.
Unsurprising. While Ruben Soraya comes under pressure from Dominik of Ashby, he has a look into turn 1, but he's not gonna make it. Ruben is still there, but it's Tyler Davison who leads through turn 1. Ruben Soraya, the champion in P2. At the back of the grid, though, it's Super in the
really
Soul Team Spirit car.
Dropped from P5 to P10.
Not much really going on at the moment.
The rest of the
down
grid
into the chicane for the
stayed
first time.
In order.
It means less incidents for me to look into later on, which is always lovely.
At the moment, Super seems to struggle a bit with the race pace.
He's the second now behind Tom Lipscomb.
Lipscomb sitting on a penalty.
Tom Holland and Lucas Wake having a bit of a scrap for 6th and 7th. As Lucas pulls under the wing of Tom Holland.
We might have a look at Lucas' car, because the name decal doesn't seem the right one.
Nope, I noticed that. Although, up at the front for P3 and 4, Gerald van der Speck and Ashby going side by side into turn 1. Van der Speck with a textbook move down the inside, take the last podium position. While Soraya has gained a little bit of time there on Tyler Davison. I think the RCF is actually slightly faster than the M4 in a straight line.
It's going to be interesting again with the tyres, as the BMW looked really tyre conserving in the last rounds.
Ashby with a slight run going downhill.
Tom Holland against Stein van Hart.
Ashby has a look. He's got alongside Van der Speck going through the chicane. There's only love between the two. Van der Speck takes the position back.
No inside line for Ashby.
So having a look, but he's being cautious. Again, another look. Compromises his exit though, but it's not too long of a run to the final corner. Seems like a good opportunity to pass the car in front, but it compromises you going down the long straight. And now he's on the slipstream.
Let's see if he goes for the inside.
Van der Speck moving across slowly to defend.
Van Hart meanwhile passed Holland again.
Yeah, he's being pushed all the way to the wall there as they head into turn 1. Ashby having a look at the long way round, but he's got to get the cut back. Absolutely sensational racing between these two. Bit of contact there as they head through the little kink, and then Ashby is now ahead going into turn 2.
Brilliant racing here delivered by the two Lexuses, and Van der Speck in the long right-hander inside line. Bit of a surprise move.
Ashby on the grass all the way to the left. He's going to go for a dive bomb, but it's not going to be enough. Jordan Van der Speck learns from his previous mistake into turn 1 and takes the position back with a switchback.
Kind of a miracle that there was not more contact.
Doesn't seem to be any lag issues tonight, which is always lovely.
Super meanwhile back on P7. retake attempt here from Lipskamp against Lucas Wake. Lucas Wake went a bit wide, lost the position. Tyler Davison, meanwhile, a second ahead of Soreo. And the fight between Van der Speck and Ashby continued. Van der Speck early near the pit wall.
Reaching speeds of 150 miles an hour going into turn 1. Big heavy braking zone. Chica tries to get an undercut, tries to get on the power early, but big meaty V8 in the front of that Lexus just is too much for him and breaks traction on the rear tyres.
Penalty in the front SC for Ruben Soreo. Let's have a second.
How much of a difference that's going to make, I'm not too sure, because not only is he going to be off the power for half a second, he's then going to lose all the time getting back up to speed after that. As Ashby almost pile drives the back of Jordan van der Speck into the chicane, he has a look, pulls out of it.
A lot of interesting fights here. Van der Speck against Ashby, Van Hart against Holland. That's Holland against the Super. And then the nice little three-way fight here between Woolacott, Wake and Lipskamp. Woolacott went wide, Lipskamp nearly made the move, but Wake did the move.
Ruben Soreo going into the pits. Van der Speck, I think, following suit as well. Yes, he is. And Ashby with a half-second penalty at the front, which just leaves Tyler Davison alone at the very front, leading the cars around the circuit.
Let's have a look if we see tyre change. Just for Ruben Soreo, Van der Speck staying on the rover. So he's coming out of the pits in front of his teammate. And so it's going to be pretty interesting if Ashby is changing tires. Because this might be the secret behind Van der Speck's no tire changing. To get himself out of this duel. So Ashby, even with a half-second penalty, is really quick at the moment. A half a second quicker than his former PB in Sector 2.
And Stein Van Hart as well behind him, not too far behind actually. He's had a very quiet race in what I would say is a net P5.
Staying out for another lap.
I think Ashby is too.
Everyone else is.
Michael Woolacott pulling over to the right.
He's pitting together with Tom Lipskamp.
So are they going to be taking tyres? Michael Woolacott takes tyres in the Scirocco, as does Lipskamp.
The first one of the baby car fraction in the pits. And Tyler Davison is on stunning lap time, so 1:44.6 in the last lap.
We always knew that time was there, didn't we, in setting qualifying?
And now he picked up a half-second penalty.
Pushing just a bit too hard then.
if he changes tires, it could be an interesting... Oh, very right here. Pit exit because Van der Speck hasn't changed tires.
He's going to have gained a few seconds there, but it might come back to bite him in the closing stages of the race.
Thiesen now on his way to the
He's
pits.
coming into the pits. There we go. Just going to point out as well that there's quite a lot of clouds building above the circuit. It is random weather, so we might see a few droplets of rain.
Yeah, it's getting a bit foggy here. So now Super and Team Spirit car is in the lead. And when I see his fuel, he must be really confident.
It's definitely going to be this in-lap, isn't it? Well, Tyler Davison comes out. Where does that put the rest of them? Huge gap between the two. 8 seconds now between Van der Speck and Davison. Van der Speck in a net P2. Well, Ashby's taking tyres. He's now under pressure from Tom Holland, who has pitted, so the tyres losing quite a lot of time taking them initially, so we will have to wait and see what that does in the closing stages. Van der Speck's tyres don't look too terrible. We have seen worse this season.
Definitely.
Soraya as well on the back of them. Are we going to see some team orders? Hopefully not. Van der Speck is indicating, he's saying to let him past.
If there's team orders, I don't know about them. They aren't even necessary, to be honest. And Super made it round the track.
It's practically running on fumes, look at that. Tiny little 2-litre in the Audi TT. I would think the same as the one in the Scirocco, but don't take that as gospel. They seem to be very light on fuel.
Tom Holland sitting on a half-second penalty, picked it up very late in the lap.
It's going to keep Ashby occupied for a little bit, isn't he? For another lap. The straight line speed that the Lexus has over the tiny little Suzuki.
I thought Holland could have been a bit later on the brakes.
Like we've been saying all season, that Suzuki is unstoppable under the brakes.
Yeah, but Ashby already had a brilliant first corner. Purple sector 1.
He has got fresher tyres, he's taken new tyres stops, so not only is that going to give him the advantage over Tom Holland, that's going to give him the advantage over Jordan Van der Speck as well in P3, as he power slides out of turn 5 there. And now Tom Holland having a look, is he going to go the inside or outside? He's not making it easy, is Ashby. Parking that Lexus perfectly though.
On the main straight, he will shake Holland off anyways. And Van Hart should earn P5. So not really thankful penalty burn zone. I mean, we saw a few guys pitting with the penalty because the pit lane is slowing them down anyways. Cost Tom Holland more than a second.
Coming far behind Stein Van Hart into turn 1.
And
Meanwhile,
Ashby is back on Van der Speck's rear.
I was just about to say the huge gap now between the two Halex cars. It doesn't look as though coming off the tyres or just leaving the tyres in the pits doesn't seem to make that much time, does it? Ashby's already gained it back in 2 laps, and he has been fighting Tom Holland as well, so it looks like another strategy mistake for Jordan van der Speck.
Ashby gained more than a second last lap. Still
Ashby
improving
shows
on
his
first
nose.
PB.
Van der Speck runs deep. Ashby's able to get his nose in. Show him that he's there, but he's biding his time. Van der Speck parking that Lexus perfectly. Ashby, very, very slim gap there. Brilliant racing from the two. So they head side by side into the final few corners. Is Ashby going to get the cutback? Again, he's got to go the long way round through the final corner. Bit of contact.
Contact here.
Van der Speck, again, knowing exactly how to drive that Lexus, parking it so easily, blocking Ashby from taking his position. You know, Ashby with the slipstream. Van der Speck moving over to the inside for turn 1. Again, Ashby going for the long way round, but he does have the straight line advantage. May only be a few couple miles an hour, but they're trading paint as they head down into turn 1. Some stellar racing this.
And there are 2 cars in the background. We're just waiting for them to fight a bit more. Van Aert and Holland really closed up.
Ashby now with the inside. Is Van Aert going to hold it the long way round? He's not. He shows his nose, bit of contact. But it's not enough as they head downhill now. Through the right-hand kink. Through the second. Is Van der Speck going to take a look?
And Van der Speck's tyre is now dropping a lot.
Very squirrely. Now Stein van Aert, whose tyres do look not their best, but they're considerably better than that of the Lexus. So power slides out of the second to last corner.
So the top 3 on fresh rubber. The chasing group on 1.
And now Stein van Aert is going to have the slipstream.
And the Hyundai isn't a slow car. Van Aert showed this several times this season.
Van der Speck still putting up a fight. A very late dash to the right-hand side. Is that going to be enough? Side by side, can Stein van Aert hold it around the outside? He can't. Van Aert.
Touched a bit the AstroTurf, it slowed him down.
Lucas Wake drops out. The two Dutchmen still at it, down the hill. Stein trying to look around the outside. Can he get Van der Speck to run slightly deep? He's going to look around the outside. Whether he's going to hold it, he can't. There seems to be a little bit of contact there. But Van der Speck was on the racing line, so all is fair there.
Tom Holland collected Van Aert in this move.
Up to P5. Still 2 laps left, so anything can happen here.
I think P1, P2 are pretty sorted. And I think also
Definitely.
Ashby should be fine at P3. Because Van der Speck has more to focus about the guys in his gearbox.
Even the tiny little Suzuki with the slipstream now. So look to run 3 wide. Tom Holland goes into the back of Jordan van der Speck and he's off. They're both off into turn 1. Van der Speck being put into the wall by Tom Holland, which instantly gives Van Hart 4th position. Tom Holland,
really weird.
Very weird incident. Tom Holland puts his hands up and admits fault there, waits for Van der Speck. They both lose about 10 seconds or more.
Maybe he lost the car a bit on the brakes. Suzuki isn't the most stable car on the front. And Lipscomb fighting for P8. And Tyler Davison is going on to the final lap. Won't care about this penalty too much.
It's not going to make a difference, is it?
Won't give him Watkins Glen flashbacks.
Ashby with the personal best, getting into the 144s himself. It seems to be quicker than Ruben Sorreo this race. So while Ashby this season he's not been able to take that elusive victory, he has taken a few podiums here and there. But you know,
if he was there, he was
able
always
to
competitive for the podium.
Definitely, he's able to keep up with the champion. He's faster than the champion this season, this race. So you know, there is a huge potential there. I thought if it's not going to come next race, it's definitely going to come next season. Is that first victory for Ashby?
Tom Holland sitting on a half-second penalty will give Jordan van der Speck a bit more room to breathe. And Tyler Davison continues where he stopped, winning races by dominating it.
Never looked back after the start. No one's gone anywhere near him. Ruben Sorreo was
a few
managing
laps,
to keep up with it.
When he was out of slipstream,
there was just nothing anyone could do. Tyler Davison, one of the quickest drivers we've seen in this, let alone this season, but this series, takes yet another victory this season.
It's his fourth one that's catching up to the champion. Sorreo on P2.
Ashby, he's going to be happy with another podium, isn't he?
Stein Van Hart, solid P4 for him.
Super P5 on debut after a terrible start to the race. Van der Speck's not going to be happy with that. P6 after a huge accident with Tom Holland down at turn 1, who finishes P7 behind him. It's Tom Lipscomb and Michael Woolacott. Finishing side by side for 8th and 9th. So there we have it. Tyler Davison with another dominant victory there.
Brilliant performance again. Van der Speck and Ashby giving each other credits in the chat for a little fight.
Both very happy with that one. But I think it's going to be time for me to set the reverse grid now, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, you might have to wait a bit because I guess Pine's game crashed again.
As per usual. So I think it's only fair that Lucas Wake starts at the front and Michael Woolacott finishes off the front row.
I think first time this season, no Nexus car in the first row.
Just got to wait for Tom Holland to join so we can get the next few positions in there.
I think he's almost back.
There we go. Might as well set it to rolling start as well before I forget that, because that's not entirely impossible, knowing me. So who's going to take it in the reverse grid then? I have a sneaky suspicion that Tyler Davidson's going to do it again.
Maybe. Definitely has the pace.
Well, I mean, 10 seconds ahead of the champion. You know, it's not easy, is it? And it's not fluke either. So where were we? It was Tom Lipscomb from Tom Holland, from Joel van der Speck, from Super,
Then Van Hart.
and so, still waiting on Ashby. There's always that one guy, isn't there? There we go. As soon as I send the message, and I look like a burp. But there we go. We'll leave it a couple of minutes as well for some people to calm down slightly.
Oh yeah, I know why Van der Speck's pace dropped so much.
Conserving fuel.
He fueled for 6 laps while he had 9 to go.
So I think that is going to be all we're going to have for this last race. No one else is going to enter, which is
It's a bit unfortunate that Team Spirit missing both main drivers.
definitely. I think it would have been a close race with Witchell up there. And I mean, the front wheel drive cars again don't seem to be as competitive, but you know, it's not like Jake Witchell to be slow, is it? So.
Oh, and the front wheel drives. Tom Holland had the pace, and And yeah, we have to have a look on the guys who are sitting on the rear-wheel drives. It is Ridwan Hamza who won the Silvia Championship, multiple race winner, and here it's Tyler Davison who's winning nearly every race he's competing. And then we have the both Helix drivers, and so maybe 4 out of the top 5 drivers this season are sitting on rear-wheel driven cars.
So here we go then for the final time in Season 9. There's Lucas Wake leading the pack ahead of Michael Willacott, Tom Lipscomb, Tom Holland, Jordal van der Speck, Super, Stein van Hart, Ashby, Soreo and Davison, and off they go. They all form one single line to get the slipstream from the other car. And it seems to be Tom Lipscomb who has the biggest advantage over Michael Willacott in P2. Is he going to have a look into turn 1? He does. Next dive, but Michael Willacott says, no, you're not having it, and forces him back off the track. Tom runs wide.
And slipping through that gap, and also Van der Speck is having a look on that gap.
Contact, but Tom Lipscomb lets him pass.
Soreo dropped down to P10, half-second penalty for him. Super again with a horrible start.
There we are, look for P2 and P3. Tom Holland and Michael Willacott side by side into the chicane. Tom bumping Michael. Telling him to hurry up. He's got Joel van der Speck right behind him, and he is going to be on one this race. This is his last chance to win a race this season.
Only the first lap. I'm kind of getting some Red Bull Ring flashbacks, because Lucas Wake is currently seeing really benefiting from the fights behind him.
Tom Holland making it side by side with Michael Willacott over the line. The Scirocco does have the slight advantage in a straight line. Davison with a very early pit stop. Not sure why, but Jordal van der Speck making a huge dive into turn 1, taking both Michael Willacott and Tom Holland. I missed that. That's something I would have loved to see.
There were 3 wide. I think they all made the corner quite well. I think there was a bit of contact between Van der Speck and Holland. Nothing too big. It could be the way to go for Tyler Davison.
Gives him a nice open track in front, doesn't it? Well, anyone that's going to challenge him, Jordal van der Speck, for example, is not only got to catch up to Lucas Wake, but he's got to get back past him. Ashby as well with the
Holland
2 fellow Brits
against Willacott, and Holland made the move.
Very nice move there.
Also Ashby is having a look at Willacott's rear.
Lovely move. We're seeing some fantastic racing tonight, aren't we? Ashby getting a bit squirrely on exit. Michael Willacott hasn't got anything to answer it with.
Ashby almost lost the rear of his Lexus. And Hart now burning the penalty. I think he will lose his position to Lipscomb. Stays in front for now.
Not too much of a gap now between the top 5, is there? All within one camera shot, or within 5 seconds of each other. Closest gap seems to be Tom Holland and Jordan van der Speck. Tom Holland, he's got to have a look around the outside. It's a very unlikely overtake there. Jordan van der Speck slamming the door in his face.
But Holland in the Swift can drive the more aggressive lines. Lexus has to go a bit wider angles through the corners.
That Tom Holland braking so much later than van der Speck. Contact again. On my screen there wasn't anything, but
I know that the Suzuki is pretty bumpy when it comes to contact with other cars. I think this is the major disadvantage
on the grid. It's all gone.
Yeah, this is especially the Suzuki. When you have a slightly tap on the side, it's really easy to lose it.
If you compare it to the other cars on the grid, for example, the Lexus, it's so much lighter, even though it's got less power. I think it's the only car on the grid that actually weighs less than a ton.
Yes.
Well, super.
I think the Volkswagen is about 1,200 kilogram. Lexus and BMW are close together with almost 1.5 ton.
I should be having a look at van der Speck.
Flashbacks from race 1.
Are they working together to get back up to the front? That gap to Lucas Wake isn't dropping as much as I thought it would have, in all honesty.
Oh, Lucas is on a pretty good pace. Bit inconsistent on lap times.
Does it go side by side then?
Woolacott must have had a mistake. Dropped from P4, now gains back P5. No,
Super takes a position from him, the Hungarian, with a brilliant race so far. Keeping his cool while others are making mistakes. Ruben Serrao as well with a very, very quiet race. Only in P8, struggling to get past this huge gaggle of cars in front.
And now Ashby and van der Speck side by side.
Is van der Speck pulling into the pits? There he goes. So again with an early stop. Is he going to take tyres? I think van der Speck is. After last race, that Lexus eats tyres. I don't know whether there was an update where they adjusted it, but Ashby seems to...
Since the update, the tyres are not dropping that fast at the beginning, but they are going faster down at the end, and again not going for tyres. What brings him ahead of Tyler Davison.
Davison with more fuel though, so I think he misjudged how much he's going to need, or van der Speck's done it again and miscalculated himself.
And Ashby is closing the gap to Lucas Wake. Should be in slipstream range on the main straight. Also purple sector 2 for Ashby. That definitely means a lot because Davison has clean air. Of course, a bit more fuel. And Ashby is going for the move even before the start-finish line. Could hold a really, really tight line here.
Lucas Wake's not going to give up though. And he holds it down the inside. Blocks Ashby from a switchback, and that bumps him and gives him the advantage.
Yeah, currently Ashby isn't gaining, so I don't see him in attack position at the end of the straight.
The gap gradually getting smaller and smaller as two cars there dart into the pits. That's going to be Michael Woolacott and Tom Lipscomb. Ashby, though, with the better exit out of turn 1. He's going to look to go round the outside of turn 2. Very unlikely move. He knows that. He's trying to get Lucas Wake to make some sort of mistake. Tries to keep his foot in. But he's not going to have the turn in like that Suzuki does. So now head through the middle sector. Chica still under the rear wing of the Suzuki. He's going to have to look the long way round, but again, he's not going to outbrake the Suzuki.
No chance for the Lexus here.
He can get on the power, but he just can't get it down in the right place.
You shouldn't overtake the police anyway.
Getting a bit impatient now, putting elbows out, and there's contact between the two cars. Lucas, you know, you give what you get, and Lucas gives the position back. Chica being pushed. I think he's going to go into the pits. He's indicating to the right.
I think both going into the pits.
And Ashby, very, very smart. Great racing there. She says, I'm going to the pits before you, bud.
I'm pretty sure that Wake is going to get a 3-second penalty for this. So
It's going to be close, though.
Should now take the lead, followed by Tyler Davison.
New tyres going on the purple Lexus of Ashby, and obviously fuel. And it's Lucas Wake coming out ahead. He's under the two leaders. We've seen that Lucas tends to be a whole lot faster when he's following cars, so when he's following the leaders, who knows what we'll see.
And Ashby dropped back a lot. I think yes, he was the only one who switched tires.
And just back, keeping a level head, then ahead of Tyler Davison. Davison seems to be...
Lexus has a slightly straight line speed advantage.
Just the two orange cars lead the pack through the final sector. The cars aren't actually that far apart, only 16 seconds separating 10th down to first. However, Tyler Davison now on the rear wing of Jordan van der Speck.
But he isn't gaining.
He's not. Don't know whether he's going to get any sort of advantage as they go towards their top speed now.
No.
There we
After
go.
the finish line,
He's slowly creeping. He's slowly creeping. Davison has a look going down into turn 1. He's slightly outbroken himself. Jordan van der Speck goes for the switchback, but leaves the room. Davison then in the lead.
And the next one is a left-hander.
Jordan has a look. There's contact between the two cars. Doesn't seem to affect Davison too much. So head down the hill through the double right-handed kinks. Jordan again with the advantage going down the hill. Is he going to have a look? He's not close enough.
Now Tyler Davison should play his advantage in the final sector to get the gap as big as possible to the start and finish line. because I think the Lexus will gain a bit more in slipstream to the BMW. And Lucas Wake is not losing contact. He's meanwhile almost 4 seconds ahead of Tom Holland.
Ashby is both struggling to get through them. The Lexus is gaining time on the BMW then. But whether it's going to be enough, I very highly doubt it.
Gap was 8/10. Gained only 1/10 so far. Super here on the inside line against Ashby. Ashby can defend his position. Nice little fighting here from P4 to P8.
Oh wow. Haven't seen this. Chica under pressure from Super. And Ruben Sorreo down in P7.
Van Hart with the penalty.
And Hart has a look. He's going to go down the inside of Super. And Sorreo with the cutback of the gods out of the final corner gets both cars without breaking a sweat. Ashby struggling to get past Tom Holland still. I think
now
all of his
picked up a penalty. So if not this lap, next lap, he will definitely be ahead of him. Holland had a bit to avoid the collision. I think Ashby underestimated the braking point of the Swift and cuts a bit to the inside a bit too early. And Vandersbeck stays in contact with Davison.
The gap was a few tenths closer down at the first turn. I think Davison ran slightly deep and Vandersbeck gained a tiny bit of time. Whether that's going to leave a dent in Davison's confidence, we're not too sure. Vandersbeck seems to be a whole lot better on the brakes. While Davison can wrestle the M4 into turning in better than the big boaty Lexus.
Yeah, definitely see the advantage of the BMW in the final sector. The Lexus is a bit more clumsy on the steering. But if Lucas Wake can conserve the pace, we might see him the second time in the season on podium. Ashby has to burn a penalty.
As does Tom Holland, which is going to put them both into the clutches of Sorreo. If he's going to get Holland, which I reckon he is, I don't know whether he's going to get Chica or Ashby. Very little competition there. Sorreo just blasts straight past Tom Holland in the privateer Suzuki. Watching the gap at the front, it doesn't seem to be changing much this lap. Vandersbeck is still losing time to Davison.
Davison seems to be slightly faster. I think maybe the same happens that happened to Sorreo in race 1. If Davison was able to get him out of slipstream, it might be the case this lap, because he's now in sector 3, a second ahead. Gap should be 1.3, 1.4 at the start-finish line.
Van der Speck there with a slightly better exit, and Davison with a half-second penalty, which is really going to spice things up now. He's not going to serve it this lap, but it's going to be the next one. It's really going to dent his confidence.
And I know this Dutch guy, he's now seeing this red blinking penalty and activates a little extra motivation.
He's going to be grinning wildly, isn't he? And Van der Speck, we haven't seen him up at the front. We haven't seen him take that top spot so far this season.
Ashby gained more than a second to Lucas Wake. Gap is down to 1.5. Again, purple in sector 1. So maybe also aiming for a double podium here.
Davison doing all he can to shake Van der Speck off him. But the gap is still saying the same as it was last lap.
I don't think Van der Speck is able to pass on the penalty, but it will definitely spice the things up for the final round.
Gap almost 2 seconds. The tyres on Van der Speck's Lexus have just completely dropped.
Now Tyler Davison is burning his penalty.
Here we go then. Is Van der Speck going to get the first position? Davison moving left and right. Gap then down to 0.6 of a second.
See, and Ashby took the advantage over Lucas Wake, is now on P3. But Lucas Wake hasn't given up for his podium. Also fight for P5 here between Holland and Serrao.
I don't know where to watch. This is just brilliant to see. I think the gap at the front is settled. I don't think that's going to change. But third and fourth side by side as they head into the final sector.
Davison sticks to the track limits. Lucas Wake is back on P3.
Trying to block Ashby. Ashby pulling a brilliant dummy. And there he goes down the inside. He's going to push Lucas Wake wide. I don't think Lucas is going to be too happy with that, and I think he's going to try to swing it down the inside. There we go.
Yeah, I think this police guy's looking very angry. Goes for the inside line.
Another look, but it's not going to be enough. But there we have it, folks, for the last race of the season. Tyler Davison just about fends off Van der Speck. And you can see the train of cars behind him is not that far between the lot, is it? Look at that, Serrao and Tom Holland side by side across the line. Is Serrao going to get him? He's not. It's just a quarter of a tenth of a second.
Stein van Aert P7. Super on P8. The penalty for spinning over the line won't affect the position. And Lipskamp and Wohlerkurt again solving their own little battle on track.
Another pair side by side, whether it's for show this time or not. I think it is.
Woolacott P9, P10 for Tom Lipscomb. And so yes, every decisions are made this season.
So there we have it. Ruben Soreo is going to be your drivers' champion. I think that was settled last week, but it's always a bit better to save it until the very end. I don't think you're going to need a crystal ball to figure out that I think Halex has won the Constructors' Championship this season.
It's pretty difficult to do it with one car.
Especially finishing in 8th in the second race. Tom Holland as well with the Tom Coronel Trophy for the Privateers, beating out Ashby and Stein van Hart. It's they're not exactly slow drivers, are they? So fair play to Tom Holland. No overall wins this season, but he's going to be happy with that. But again, another fantastic race.
Brilliant fights all over the grid till the final lap. And we saw again what potential is in Van der Speck. Almost able to stop Tyler Davison.
Just so Lucas will shut up for once.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hop in as well.
No, I've got you as well. I think we'll have to have a mini race, won't we? Whether we should have this on stream or not, I don't know, but...
I think we should have it on stream. I need to buy tires. It's a good practice for me. We'll have a race in WSR in Porsche GT3 cars around Northern.
What? That sounds ridiculous.
It is really funny. I had my doubts when I did it 3 seasons ago. I think it was still on GT Sport. But if you have a grid of solid drivers who know what to do, you can have great fun, great races around here, even if it's slightly boring, as you have to do it 40 minutes.
I don't seem to be very good at this oval racing stuff. I'm 4/10 slower than everyone.
I'm dead last at the moment. And my car looks like a NASCAR.
Tom Holland's joined back.
There it is, the Oval Pro. 410 quicker than the champion.
And needs something front wheel drive. Where's my Scirocco? There we go. Oh god, I haven't driven this thing properly in ages. Oh,
Come
bloody
on,
typical.
if it fastest last. I hate you.
Oh, I can hear an alpha. Oh, jeez.
I'm catching.
Oh, crap.
Ooh, carnage. Triple overtake.
Bit of contact there.
Okay, definitely report this.
No, I didn't see anything there. No contact.
Just lost the rear.
I think it's only fair that you wait and smash off everyone in front of me. I don't understand how Tom Lipscomb is so much quicker than everyone.
Maybe he only practiced Northern Ireland season. Oh, tires are a problem now. Ooh. Thank you, nice revenge move.
Oh, God. Oh, thank God. That's the last lap.
Almost got
There
the
we go.
champion.
There we go. That's season 10 then, folks. Tom Lipscomb is your champion. Oh, that's good fun.
It's typing in the chat this track next season. Definitely Swift OP on all those. We should ban it.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think overall a good season comes to an end.
Definitely. 7 different winners in 8 different weeks of racing, which is, I think, one of the highest we've seen.
Yeah, and if we get a bit more consistency on attendance in the teams, I think we will come back to three-way title fights. But yeah.
We'll have to plan something for the off season now, won't we?
Yes, maybe. Give me sport medium tires and I'm on it. No, not Bathurst. Not Bathurst. I heard that Alsace has a really good track. It's called Village.
Alsace? No, I only know the test course in reverse.
Pretty good track as well.
But thank you everyone who watched the racing and put up with not only my terrible commentary, but Dominik's as well. No, I'm joking. Yours, you're pretty good.
I think.
But here's to another season of brilliant racing and
more races, definitely.
Exactly. 10 weeks next time out. It's the 10th season, so we'll have something a little bit more special. I'd like to thank sponsors as well on the Edge Motorsports and Inertia Works for all of our decals, making our race cars look kind of like actual race cars. And hopefully we'll see everyone next season, or maybe in the off season for a cheeky little race.
Definitely. Gonna have a good one. So yeah,
Definitely.
Good night everyone. See you at least in the off-season event, latest next season.